Hi guys, it's KJM and you know what time it is. It's time for another Hallmark Countdown to Christmas movie review. All right, last week was Merry Thanksgiving weekend, and last year the movies after Merry Thanksgiving weekend, for the most part, the quality went down in December. So Megan and I were not expecting much for the first weekend of December. And then baby, my Norwegian holiday surprised the hell out of me. Megan hasn't watched it already, but she hasn't watched it yet. But I have told her, get her tissues ready, because this is a heavy hitter that you would have never expected. So we've been at the Christmas market in France. We've been at one in Germany. Then we took a little spin over at Christmas in Notting Hill. We were like somewhere in England. And so when I saw my Norwegian holiday, I was just like, okay, at least I'm gonna get some scenery and learn some stuff about Norwegian culture. I wasn't expecting great writing. I love Rhiannon Fish. I'm telling you, she is the girl to watch for the new actors that are coming into Hallmark. I have said that somebody needs to give Rhiannon a multi-picture deal because we need to lock her in. I have been a huge fan, but you know, some Hallmarkies don't like her, say some of her acting seems childish. Baby, one thing Rhiannon gave you in this movie was range, baby. She went from comedy straight to drama. I went from laughing to crying with the 5 lashes that's left in my eyes. I was all over the place. Okay, my Norwegian holiday stars Rhiannon Fish and David Elsendorn. Okay, Elsendorn. Okay, and forget about, before I even get into the premise of the movie, let's give a shout out to the entire cast, because this cast is just amazing. And I think that's what made this so great. Great writing, great acting. Baby, did I say this is my first official 10 out of 10 for Countdown on Christmas? I know you guys are saying, what about a Biltmore Christmas? If you recall, I gave that 100 out of 100. That's just not on a 10 scale. So this is my official first 10 for Countdown to Christmas. There's nothing in this movie I personally would have done differently. Okay, let me go show you the cast of my Norwegian holiday. All right, I'm just gonna like pop in. Baby, this is the cast for the most part of my Norwegian holiday, and they delivered. And actually, my favorite was Astrid, the grandma, played by Deirdre. Baby, she is the grandma of all grandmas this Christmas season. I loved her, and if y'all know me, like, I have a soft spot for grandmas. I lost one of mine super young, and I will always miss her. So I love the grandma figures, and baby Astrid in this movie did what she came to do. I loved her. I wanted her to adopt me. Okay, let me just show you again what the cast looks like. I don't know why I'm moving when they don't have Francesca's photo there, but I just wanted to give you a little look at everybody that was in the movie. All right, let me get into the premise of this movie. Okay, baby, my Norwegian holiday, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. We meet Henrik, who is from Norway. We meet him in Minnesota in a coffee shop where it looks like his girlfriend, Jessica Johnson, is breaking up with him. Only it turns out to be his assistant, but it doesn't matter. Another Jessica Johnson, played by Rhiannon Fish, happens to be in the same coffee shop right before she goes to her substitute teaching job at the local high school. She watches the whole breakup scene and she really feels bad for Henrik, but she's like, hey, there's nothing I can do. They switch up the coffee order for both Jessicas, and that's how Henrik finds out that Rhiannon Fish's character is also named Jessica Johnson, but not before his assistant walks out on him in the coffee shop. Anyway, the two of them meet outside of the coffee shop while Henrik is on the phone, and he spills, Jessica, JJ's, what she goes by. He spills JJ's peppermint tea, which is the second one she had to order after the earlier mix-up with the first Jessica Johnson. Baby, are you following? Okay. So now some of her school papers go flying. She was grading some high schoolers. Henrik, kind of slaps the coffee out of her hand. Everything goes flying. We realize he's got a bum leg. And, JJ is like, you know what? I'm going to be late for work. I don't have time for whatever madness you got going on. You just got publicly broken up with. And I feel bad that you're having a bad day. Now I see you got a bum leg, but I got to get to work. She goes to work at the local high school. Only thing, one of the papers she was grading, she was giving a student a D. And Henrik finds the paper. He walks a couple blocks over to the local high school. And because he already knows her name, he finds her. Never mind how easy and creepy that was at the same time for him to do. But anyway, he's got coffee. He's got her little pepper seed bagel or muffin in his hand, and then he's got the high schooler's D paper, and he says, you know, JJ, it's Christmas. Could you give this guy at least a C- to really put us in the Christmas spirit? She was saying the D was too kind, but she'll give him a C-. And all I gotta say is their meet cute was really, really, really cute. Like, I enjoyed the way that they met. It was funny and it was awkward, which is what I think the script meant it to be. Anyway, once Henrik realizes that he kind of likes JJ, I think he figures that early. He offers her the other Jessica Johnson's plane ticket to Norway. His assistant was supposed to go with him to Norway, even though JJ is still thinking it's his ex-girlfriend that broke up, Henrik's ex-girlfriend broke up with him. She doesn't realize it was his assistant. Anyway, she wasn't going to go to Norway, and I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of human trafficking going right now, so my first thought is, girl, he moving like a little bit like a serial killer. But then at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, he's got a bum leg and he came all this way to bring her peppermint tea and to help a kid go from a D to a C. So he can't really be all that bad. That's what I'm thinking. But baby, I'm telling you, well, how stressful these times in life is, I would have taken the damn ticket to Norway. I'd have been on that flight. So JJ is at first not going to take the ticket. You know, Henrik says the ticket's going to go to waste. But then JJ talks to the head of her department chair at University of Minnesota, where she is a meteorologist PhD candidate. And he tells her she can only get an extension if she takes that trip to Norway, because he's always wanted to go, but he has 1 million children, so he's probably never going to make it to Norway. If she goes to Norway, then he'll give her the extension. Kind of weird, but I also thought it was a nice thing that Phil did that, because he wanted her. She had just lost her grandma, Florence, and her grandmother raised her because her mom had died very young. And he just felt like, why not go on this wild journey and see where fate takes you? Only JJ doesn't believe in fate. She hops on the plane with Henrik, and the rest is magic. She gets to Norway and automatically falls in love with his family. She stays with his grandmother, Astrid, and her home and her morning breakfast, it gave more than a B&B feeling. It gave a grandma with love. Turns out Henrik calls Astrid a best mum. I think it means best mother, aka grandmother. And I thought that was so cool. Midway through this movie, we see that JJ has been on this whole thing trying to figure out this troll. Who does the troll? Where did her grandma get this troll from? It was her grandmother Florence's most prized possession. She never saw her grandma travel. Come to find out, once she figures out that this is a handmade Christmas troll, which was kind of creepy because that thing was winking and it made me a little uncomfortable. But since I realized it was made with love by somebody who really loved Florence once upon a time, I had to let that little creepy feeling go. There were some parts of this movie where I was like, this could either be a scary movie or this could be a great love movie. But what it was a dramedy, baby. Because as JJ is going from shop to shop to figure out who made this troll, she finally figures out the initials of the person who made it. It's handmade. It's not somebody that works in one of the shops. She goes and tells Grandma Astrid about it, and Astrid says she thinks she knows who AAA is. Turns out AAA is Under, spelled with an A, who happens to be Henrik's ski coach. There's a whole nother storyline about why he got a bum leg. He got hurt in a competition, one of the World Cup competitions for Norway, and this is why he didn't want to go back to Norway, but now he's back there, and he's with JJ, and he's falling in love, baby. I don't know if I can sum up this whole movie, but anyway, when we figure out who AAA is, we figure out Under and Florence, which would be JJ's grandmother, had a romance. And then he had to go into the military, which was then required, and she went back to America. But never knowing that Grandma Florence was pregnant with his baby. Okay, I have to do a part 2 to this. I have to do a part 2. All right, stay tuned for the part 2.